Pre-Algebra Lesson 82, Evaluation with Signed Numbers. So evaluation with signed numbers is just continuing on this track of opposites, algebraic addition, multiplying positives and negatives, and we're going to learn how to solve expressions like this, but also using our evaluation problems. So if you remember, our evaluation problems look like these, right? They give us an expression, they tell us what the letters are, and then we plug those letters into the expression in parentheses and solve it using our PEMDAS rules. Now we're going to be doing that with problems like this. So let's just go straight to our examples and see how this works. Okay, so we have to evaluate AB minus A if A is equal to -2 and B is equal to 3. Again, we're going to substitute or plug in these numbers inside of parentheses. So everywhere I see A, instead of writing A, I'm going to write parentheses -2. Right? And then everywhere I see the letter B, I'm going to instead write parentheses 3, because that's what B is equal to. Our minus sign stays the same, right? So I bring down that minus sign, and the letter A turns into parentheses -2. All right, so once I've successfully rewritten the problem, now I go into my solving steps. And I'm going to try to use PEMDAS as best as possible. So multiplication. First I have to multiply these two numbers. So -2 times +3 gives me -6, because negative times a positive. Over here, this -2, those cancel, and I end up with plus +2. So now I've got -6 plus +2, and I can insert my parentheses. And last step will be to simplify that. Oh, where did my other, there it is, aha! So -6 plus +2 gives me -4 for my final answer. All right? So remember, substitute inside of parentheses, use PEMDAS, multiply, and then use your signs of opposites. You can add them all together and get your final answer. Okay? Let's do one more example. This is a great example because it reminds you to keep track of your minus signs, right? So we don't want to change anything that's not a letter. So these two negatives should be in the final problem. You notice up here, I put that minus sign right there. I didn't change it until I completely rewritten the problem. So the thing that gets most people wrong on these problems is they'll try to substitute or plug in the numbers without actually rewriting the problem. That's going to get you a lot of mistakes. So just be disciplined, take the extra 5 seconds to rewrite the problem and get it right instead of wrong. So let's start with the minus sign. I'm going to copy down the minus sign. Next, I'm going to put in the letter X in parentheses. So now I put parentheses, -3, end parentheses. Now I write the letter Y in parentheses because that's the next thing. Right, and that's going to be -2. Up next is that minus sign. That's no change, so I put the minus sign. And then last, I'm going to copy the other, or plug in the other X, which is going to be parentheses -3. Now I'm done rewriting the problem, so I'm going to go into my rules of PEMDAS. Okay, so first I've got a double negative and a multiplication, so I'll go ahead and change both of these. That's going to become plus +3. +3 times -2 gives me -6 again. And then over here I've got two negatives, that becomes plus +3. I've got -6 plus +3, insert those parentheses. And then the last step, algebraic addition, is going to give me an answer of -3. Okay? Well, that's it for this lesson. Remember, be disciplined, rewrite the whole problem, don't miss any negatives, always plug in inside of parentheses, and have a great day.